Have you ever felt stuck in between two choices? I want to live a life of leisure. I want to travel. I want to go places. I want to see things. But I also want to chase my career goals and live my best life and be this boss chick or dude, right? What if I was to tell you that you don't have to choose? There's no this or that. What if it was a this and that? And that's literally what I call, in others, I'm sure you may or may not have heard of it, called living Bleisurely. Living Bleisurely is about seamlessly blending your business endeavors with your leisure explorer spirit and combining them so that you can ultimately live the best life that you desire to live. And so in this video, we're going to break down all things Bleisure, and I'm going to share 7 foundational pieces to how you can not just live Bleisurely, but you can thrive while living Bleisurely. But before we do that, I am Samella, and I am the founder and CEO of BLCK. And BLCK is a home exchange community. And ideally, we are building for creative entrepreneurs who, and remote workers, of course, people who work from their laptop and who simply want to live differently, right? We're leading a movement that beautifully merges the idea of working, traveling, and community all in one, wrapped in one, right? BLCK, as in neighborhood, right? And the idea here is we all deserve to not just live, but to live Bleisurely. So let's dive into what it takes to build a lifestyle working from your laptop and getting your passport stamps all at once. So what is Bleisure? I wrote a definition down, so I'm going to read it. Bleisure living is more than just moving from living at the beach, squeezing in sightseeing, right? Like it's more than that. It's about designing a life where your work supports your freedom and your freedom fuels your creativity. It's intentional, it's bold, and it's built on the belief that you don't have to wait to a vacation for a vacation to enjoy your life. You can live fully right now, every day, wherever you are. Does that sound like something that you want to do? Because it definitely is something that I am aspiring for, right? And so there are foundations to being able to do this, and I've identified 7 of them. Let's chop it up and talk about what the 7 foundations are in order to live your best Bleisure lifestyle. Number 1 is a mindset. In order to live Bleisurely, you must have a mindset, one, that you absolutely deserve to live like this, right? You have to give yourself permission that you don't have to just punch in and to be successful, or you don't have to like climb this idea of a corporate ladder and what other people think success looks like. You have to be able to identify opportunities in unique ways that are unique for you so that you can unlock the life that you have in mind, right? And so that means you have to be flexible to new environments. You have to be flexible to new time zones, new routes. You have to be able to shake off the idea of familiarity and open up the idea of flexibility. So, do you think you can do it? Live Bleisurely with that mindset? I think you can. And that's why we're talking about it, because we're going to make sure that you can, right? Okay. The second foundation, which is without saying, affordability. You must be able to have a lifestyle that is affordable and sustainable, right? And we got to keep it real. Traveling and living leisurely is not something that should only be reserved for the ultra rich, right? Like when we see the people on the yachts on a Wednesday, what do they do for a living? How can they afford to do it? I want to do that. I deserve to do that. You deserve to do that. And that's why this conversation is so important, because we sometimes have to see the things first to even understand that it's possible. And so that means that budgeting for experiences the same way that we budget for the actual trip itself, not just for the things about the trip, but the experiences around the trip, the yacht, the sunset sail, the middle of the day nap, right? The lunch with friends when you're in their town, right? And so one of the biggest ways that you can absolutely ensure that you are creating a affordable bleisure lifestyle is through home exchange. And that's exactly what BLCK is, right? Being able to swap your home not only helps you cut one of the biggest expenses, which is lodging as it relates to traveling. It also gives you with the opportunity to have a new friend in every city you go to. So instead of just going places, imagine meeting somebody there because you're staying at another neighbor's home. And so you have to clearly embrace what it looks like to travel more freely. So now you don't need like 6 luggages, right? You have to be able to understand that you can use what you got, your home, to get what you want, the trip. We're talking about living leisurely. We're talking about making it affordable. And we're talking about all the ways in which we can do that, right? Okay, so now you got the mindset. You feel good about it. You got it under wraps. You can make this happen. You know what to do now. You see that your home is an opportunity to make it happen. But wait, how am I going to make money? How am I going to pay for this stuff, right? Is probably the next question that comes to your mind. And so income streams is 1,000% the next top of the mind. If this is not one of the top things, I mean, like the top thing, right now we have it as list on our number 3 on our list. And being a remote worker or a entrepreneur who can work from their laptop absolutely unlocks the freedom to live leisurely, right? Like, because as long as you got your laptop, you got your charger, and you got Wi-Fi, you can sit at the beach, you can go to the coffee shop, you could be in Japan, you can be in Africa, you could be in America, you can be anywhere because you can do the work from your laptop. Clearly, what does it look like? What type of work can you do from your laptop to generate income streams? That could be freelancing, right? So you could be a consultant. You could be a virtual assistant. You can be a graphic designer as a freelancer. And sites like Fiverr and Upwork, all those sites help you be a freelancer. But you can create content, right? Like people can pay you to come to their restaurant, come to their hotel, come to their whatever, and capture that content. And you draw eyes, and now you get paid not just for the content that you're creating, but you can also get paid from social media because you're frequently posting. You can create digital products, right? So my course, I have a course right now that I just created, and it is teaching everyday people how to use AI. What is it? How it works? Things of that sort. That is essentially a digital product, right? Because that's a workshop hosted digitally. And I also have like ebooks or like things of that sort. Those are digital products because people can purchase them. And once you create them one time, they are reusable, right? And then investing. Traveling itself is an investment, if you ask me, because you become a better person, but we don't have to go down that rabbit hole today. and essentially thinking of ways to create passive income. You could be a landlord, right? And own a building, own a two flat, however many, and now you got your rental autopilot, right? And so now your tenants don't have to come and look for you because you have these things in place to make that happen. And so, of course, now that you got your income stream, now that you got your mindset, you can now unlock this thing. But guess what you need? Systems and tools, right? Because once you create these digital products, how are you going to sell them? Once you become a landlord and you don't want to have to see your tenants every day, how can you collect the funds? This is where the systems and the tools come into place. And this is essentially automating your lifestyle, automating your workload, right? And so I have this thing where I believe your business should be working even when you're not. And that comes from systems and tools. And so that could be AI assistants, that could be tech platforms. My AI workshop is actually sold on Stand Store. And you could think of that as like a e-commerce store, but for digital products, right? So a digital product storefront, essentially, right? And that could be traveling apps that can help you stay organized, time management apps, productivity. You just have to put systems and tools in place so that when you are on this flight and someone calls you, you have an auto reply on. When you are on the beach and you left your phone in the room because you don't want to be bothered, guess what? Your AI virtual assistant can respond to them, right? And so it's to the point where you're not allowing something to fall through the cracks because you want to live a lifestyle, right? Because living Bleisurely is not just about doing these things and then being reckless about everything else, right? And so because there's a level of accountability, and living leisurely is truly for those adults who can hold themselves accountable, who believe in autonomy, who understand in accountability and can still produce from a great place, because you don't want to slack and leave everything just to the wind because you're on vacation. No, you got your systems and your tools set up. You got your digital products set up. You got your affordable, your house is how you're being able to swap homes. You got your mind right. So what else do you need? You need to ensure that your health and your wellness is great, because you cannot even attempt to travel the world when you are frequently sick, because that means you have to be at doctor's appointments. That means you have to have care in like a doctor that knows what you have going on and know, right? So your health and your wellness, and I'm not just talking about physical health, your mental health is also important, right? You have to be able to learn when to disconnect, when to turn off, when to stop the world from moving so that you can gather yourself and feel like a person. And sometimes this could look like, living leisurely. If you deal with loneliness in general, that means that when you're traveling, you need to go and find a community. You need to be plugged into communities and places that you know that you're about to travel to, so that when you get there, you don't have this sense of loneliness or this sense of fear. Spirituality is part of that health and wellness, right? Being able to be rooted in your spirituality. One of the things, and I cannot stop telling people about this because it was hilarious. As I began to think about how I want to travel more frequently and do like international travels toward the end of this year, one of the things that came to my mind, like as a travel founder, right, I kind of panicked for a little second, like, ooh, solo traveling, Black woman, oh my God, right? And then God politely tapped me on my shoulder and said, hey, Samella, I'm not just the God of New York. I'm not just the God of Miami. I'm not just the God of America. I am the God of the universe. So wherever you go, I will be there. If you look for me, you will find me. I created it all. And even in that, saying that instantly gave me a sense of peace, right? Because oftentimes we think, how am I going to travel these places? I don't know nobody there. But guess what? That's exactly why Block is being built. So that when you go places, you can have a friend there. You could tap into a community and tap into a global community of other people who think like you, want to move like you, value some of the same things that you value, and but you got to take care of yourself, babe. We must take care of ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally. So that means eating well, staying active, working out, taking care of ourselves, protecting our energy, whether it's from social media or family, whether it's from our deepest insecurities or what people like boundaries about what people think that they can say to us. These are all hugely important if you are trying to live a life that is not normal to everybody else, because everybody is going to have something to say about you trying to create a lifestyle that is not normal. First they're going to talk and then they're going to ask you, how did you do it? But if you're not mentally strong and don't have the stamina and like the health and the wellness behind it, it will and can catch you off guard and have you start saying, well, maybe I can't live like this. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe somebody like me don't deserve to live like this. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Next is your environment. And that has a lot to do with where you stay, where you invest your energy at, who you let talk to you, what are you letting into your ear gates, right? And so again, one of the reasons, the many reasons why Block is going to be so dope is because you are swapping homes. And so many people are like, but what about my stuff in my house? The other person is also thinking about what about their stuff in their house. So guess what? You're not going to do nothing in their house that you know that you don't want them to do in your house, right? So that's the beautiful built-in security layer. But being able to set yourself up for, okay, I'm going to need to work today. So do they have a home office? Guess what? You're swapping with another entrepreneur. So more than likely they have the tools or the setup that you need so that you can still get your work done while also feeling rested and staying focused and alert about your surroundings, right? So your environment is absolutely the number 6 foundational points in creating a Bleisure lifestyle for yourself. And part of it is making sure that you follow your joy. Don't go nowhere that you don't feel comfortable. If you go somewhere and you don't feel comfortable, guess what you get to do? Leave. Because you should feel comfortable. You should feel welcome. You should feel like you belong, and do not allow yourself to be in a situation like that when you're in another country, because then it'll start creeping in. And next thing you know, you're like, I want to go home. When in fact, you just went across a bar that you didn't feel comfortable in, right? Or some people who you didn't really vibe with in the first place. So, and last but not least, the number 7 thing that you need to consider and think about as it relates to creating a Bleisure lifestyle is time freedom. If you don't control your time will absolutely control you, right? So this is productivity. This is time management. This is scheduling. I live by my calendar. And if someone wants to talk to me, especially as it relates to business, more than likely we need to schedule a call. Even me and my friends, like we just have a respect for each other. We will text, hey, are you free for a call? And I mean, now the call might go for like 2 hours. Who knows? But we text each other before we jump on that call, right? Because we all have a mutual respect, understanding that yes, she works from home. Yes, he's an entrepreneur, but that has nothing to do with how they manage their time. And so being able to create a calendar, being able to be productive when you have a calendar and making those 4 hours count before that big excursion. So now you're not on the excursion freaking out and saying, oh my God, I didn't send my client this email. And now you're dropping the ball on a huge deal, right? And that's why I'm saying living Bleisurely is absolutely for the adults who can hold themselves accountable, but who ultimately understand that their time freedom is more important. And so they put things in place so that they can live on their own terms. If you want to go to the beach today, you don't have to explain to anybody why you want to go to the beach on a Tuesday, because you created that life. You were able to set yourself up for success. If you work better at 2 a.m. in the morning and you want to sleep to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, that's nobody's business because you're getting the work done. So, why is Bleisure living so important in the day and time and age that we're living in right now today? I can list 70 reasons, honestly, but it's mostly important because everything is so loud. Everybody has an opinion about how it should be done, why it should be done this. We're all trying to open up this floodgates of like mental health and wellness, right? And so with everything moving around you, you have to be in control of the life that you want to live. Because if you're not, someone else is going to tell you the life that you should live. Someone else is going to tell you the type of house you should be living in. Someone else is going to tell you how to work. Someone else is going to tell you how much they're willing to pay you. And with all of this noise, all of these social media platforms, and let's just be clear, social media is positive. If your social media is not positive, I think you should decide to clean your social media and clean up some of the pages that you follow. But coming back over here, Bleisure living is so important because it's giving us, as we transition, as the world gets loud, it's giving you the ultimate autonomy to take control of the life that you want to live. We judge our parents. We judge our ancestors. We judge everybody else. I can't believe they live like this. Why did they do this? Why didn't they do this? Why don't they do this? And guess what? That's what will happen to us if we don't take control of the wheel today. We will look up when we're 50, 60, 70, 80 and say, what was I doing? And guess what you would be doing? What everybody else tell you should be doing. On a hamster wheel, feeling lost, confused, unsure, and just on autopilot. And you don't deserve to live on autopilot. I don't even want that for you. You do not deserve that. So, you deserve to live Bleisurely. We deserve to live Bleisurely. So please come live Bleisurely with me. And so we're going to close, but it's not something that is only reserved for the lucky few. It's not something that's a privilege. It is intentionality. It's smart planning. And it's surrounding yourself with the right people and community that also desire to live Bleisurely. And if that sounds like you, I would absolutely love to invite you to join Block's home exchange community, where you don't just go places, you meet people there. And, what better way to do that than to live Bleisurely? So, I look forward to seeing you at the top. I believe in you. We got this. And if you're ready to start your Bleisure journey, please join, become a neighbor, and we will see you at the top. Have a beautiful day.